it can be awkward. Okay. Hello. Today I will be ruthlessly reviewing my own artworks in hopes that it somehow makes me a better artist. And guest starring on today's show is my bestie, Rena Konishi.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Welcome, Rena, to the review show.
Thanks
Summer
for
art
me.
review. Yes, you're welcome. So do you have your phone?
I do not have my phone.
Okay, go get it.
I put it away so I could be polite.
Okay, that's very nice of you, but we need it.
So this painting was actually one of the first painting I remember you were really proud about because you showed it to me and it was huge. And I was like, wow, this is a really big painting. You've never painted anything this big either. But I loved it because it really showed your progression over the years. I remember when we first started painting together, it was back in college. Mm-hmm. And we would just paint in the living rooms on random nights. We'd have our little wine nights and try to have roommate bonding.
Yeah.
And we'd pull out the paint and just do like small little paintings. And then just a couple of years later, you came out with this piece.
It's such a charming piece to me now. I can see all of the mistakes in it. And I can see like how things just kind of look wonky.
What mistakes though? Really?
Things just look wonky to me. Like, okay. The hands. I feel like it's passable, but it's just knowing my art skill now. Mm-hmm. It wasn't intentional.
Okay.
The hand just looks kind of short here.
Yes, okay.
To me. And then this one, the thumb is just
it's like a different color. It looks like...
Yeah, and the thumb is just kind of wonky. And then also just like anatomically, the earth, the shape of the United States of America is definitely wrong.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
But,
yeah,
you know,
it's charming.
It's an interpretation. Today, when we went to the Salvador Dali Museum. So everything that we're seeing there, you know, it's surrealism. I feel like this could be a form of surrealism. And with surrealism, not everything has to be so proportionate. Like, that's the point of it.
Yeah.
But I do kind of get what you mean with that.
And it wasn't also, like, I was actually genuinely trying my best.
Also, I'm thinking, if I'm holding a globe, do you see? Is that okay?
I had someone hold a bunch of pillows.
Okay.
That was my reference.
That's how it should be.
That's how they were holding the pillows. I mean.
Okay. Like, I see that. I see where you were trying to come from with the thumb, though.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's in a weird place when it's holding something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a charming piece to me. I still love it. It's still one of my favorite pieces. Even with the little like wonkiness of it, just because of how much of myself I put into it. Mm-hmm. And just the idea of it too it has such a personal meaning to me.
What would you say your description of this painting would be to somebody, like if you were to introduce it to the world?
Well, it's called Back to Earth, and I call it that because I feel like the emotion behind it is coming back into relationship with the earth and wanting to heal it. And so there's a person and they're holding and hugging the world. And I feel like it's that realization that we as humans have caused so much destruction and turmoil on this planet. And for me, I had that moment of like, this is my planet and I want to take care of it. And so there's that feeling of wanting to hold the earth and care for it. And also the idea that when we feel, we heal. And so that's why the tears are a rainbow coming over the earth. When we start to feel that, we actually start healing because then we can do something about it instead of just shoving it down, these emotions of shame and guilt for how we have treated the earth.
So just the other day, I was talking to a friend about what the purpose of humans on Earth is. Mm-hmm. And she had mentioned a book she was reading. The book was talking about a part of the reasoning we're here on Earth is to give love and to heal each other. And we're so focused on such different things, we forget we should just revert back to just helping everybody that we're with.
Yeah. I think we've created a lot of noise and distraction for ourselves. There's just a lot of unnecessary things. The warrior.
It's so badass.
Thanks.
I love it. Like, it's so you too. And I love the fact that you put it in a Florida background. Yeah. I know that is Florida and you are just That's who you are.
Yeah. So this piece, I actually made a video. It's on my YouTube channel called From Depressed Floridian to Swamp Warrior. And it was
I saw that.
piece.
I saw
that was
video.
about this piece. Yeah, so you're just going to watch that backstory. But in terms of reviewing this and critiquing this particular artwork, I'm going to try to be ruthless with myself because I do want to improve my skill, but also I do love this piece. And I was really proud of the shadows and the water. That was the first time I'd ever done a water reflection. I do think that I could improve it.
Yeah. Okay.
Like with more waviness going through it. And then I feel like the background could use some improvement too. I don't even know what I would do to make it better. I just feel like, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it needs something.
Okay.
Out of all the archetype series, this one looks the most like me in the face.
Okay. Yes, yeah. It does really look like you in your face.
I don't know how I did it, but I got really detailed with the face on this one. But also I did get the feedback from someone else that they liked the faces of the archetype series that were more like soft and could be more generalized so somebody else could see themselves in it better.
Okay. Oh, I get that. Just because this pertains more to you, and then the other one, since it's not reflecting you as much, they can see other storylines.
Yeah, it's not strong of facial features, so it's just easier to project yourself into the experience.
I guess I'm just biased because I know you, so that's why I really like it. And I just love how the fact that I know you, and when I see that picture, I'm like, yes, that is a reflection of her. And I love the little flowers. They're so detailed. Little lotus flower. It's so cute. Do you have a unique style when it comes to how you paint your portraits and everything? It's like realism, but with a pop of your own style.
Yeah, I see it in the way that I paint the clothing and the way that I paint flowers. There's a distinction there where people can be like, those are Summer's flowers. Yes. I've had people say that. I can tell those are yours.
You made it your own too over the years. But I do love it. Maybe the background down there could just be a little bit darker.
Like more of like a fade so the swamp keeps going back more. I can imagine if I was Salvador Dali and I painted some of those paintings, I would probably look at them and be like, oh, I could have done that better. I could have done that better, you know, but looking at it from the outside perspective, I'm like, whoa, that's amazing. I love the lack of detail in some of the painting.
And it's just like that lack of detail was able to create that much detail from afar. Don't tell me that's not an alligator. Like it is. Like, and it's creeping in the back.
Yeah. It's there. I had to include an alligator.
I just really think it is a reflection of who you are, and you're a very strong person, and people don't really realize how strong she is. They just don't really know her that well, but you honestly are one of the strongest people I've ever met. And that's not just me being a friend and biased, but what you have been able to endure in your lifetime and just everything that you've been able to overcome and still have such a positive mindset over.
It's been a ride.
You're very strong.
Thanks, girl.
And I think that really reflects it. And I'm glad you were able to see that within yourself as well.
Yeah, I think that was such a positive, what's the word I'm looking for? Side effect. The positive side effect of the archetype series was that I got to see myself in all of these different roles, expand my view of myself and remind myself that I'm not one person and I don't fit into one little box. I can be all of these different people and I have that choice.
Oh, it all comes back to you.
This one has like a really deep personal meaning. So I don't ever talk about what inspired this piece, but it's definitely just an abstract that came out of a deep reflection and just the need to kind of put it on the canvas in some form or another. And I didn't know what it was going to look like when I started painting, but I just kind of painted through the emotions that I was having.
And I feel like you've really delved into more abstract pieces a few years ago. And that's something I've never been able to really do, is like abstract pieces, because I guess I'm just so literal sometimes. And so I just can't imagine myself like forming emotions into images that aren't so literal?
I think you probably could, but it's definitely a practice in just letting go and not caring what you end up with.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be okay with it looking weird or not liking how it turns out. And it's great if it turns out into something that you like, but I have to let go of the need for that to happen.
Yeah. So I think it also goes back to today too, when we were going to the Dali Museum, and I think we had a small conversation. At which point are we ever done with the painting and think that we're satisfied enough for this painting to be done? How do you do that with an abstract painting? To be satisfied enough that that painting is done? Because I know with a literal painting, it can be as satisfied enough with like all the small details with shadows and lines and just making it look like something else. But when it's abstract, you don't know where the end is.
It's really just when you decide that it is. There's not like a
And do you
definitive
feel like
ending.
when you're painting abstract paintings, do you feel a little bit more powerful because you have that power over like, oh yeah, I'm satisfied now. This painting is completely perfect.
I don't know if powerful is the words that I would use.
So what words would you use? Would you feel when you do abstract paintings versus realistic paintings?
I guess there's less of a challenge, so it feels more easeful. Like when I'm going to sit down to do a figurative painting or a landscape painting, I want it to look like what I want it to look like. And so sometimes I really have to focus on that. And that can take like a lot of mental energy and learning too. But when I'm doing an abstract piece, I'm not focused on learning and I'm not focused on making it look like something in particular. So I feel like there's a lot more ease and flow. I can just kind of let go through the process. And I feel like that letting go allows the emotions to come up a little bit easier so that I can put whatever I feel on the canvas without really thinking about it. And that helps me process the emotion in a positive way too. And that's something that I really love about art, is that I've been able to use it as a way to process pain and negative emotions. And like you said, I've been through a lot. And I think that the reason that I'm able to have a positive attitude still in my life is because of art. It's because I've been able to have that outlet where I can channel those difficult emotions into like alchemy. And so I go in with this pain and I put it on the canvas, and then I come out with something beautiful at the end of that. And I don't feel as heavy from it because now it's beauty. Yeah. So I think that's the beauty of abstract painting. Talking about it makes me want to do it more.
No, it sounds fun. Like, it's definitely a different outlet, and I haven't painted forever.
Yeah, we should paint soon.
That'd be fun. Next photo. The Crone. I just love the name. I feel like this is very fitting. The beach kind of reminds me of the beach in Oregon, just because of the log, that big log. But also a fire, because the beach in Oregon was very chilly. I can imagine this being you when you're older.
Yeah, me too. As far as critiques on this one, I don't know that I have too many. I feel like the beach and the sand, I kind of like that it's a similar color, but part of me wants there to be more contrast there. The log could be more detailed too. But overall, I really like this one. I especially am drawn to this hand. I really like the way that the light is hitting the hand and the hand is turning into sand. That's probably my favorite part.
Oh, I didn't notice that. I was turning into sand. That's so pretty. I thought you were just playing with the sand. That's crazy. Wow, I've never noticed that. Oh,
it's a very tiny detail.
You did the little feet.
Yeah, you can see my toes peeking out.
I remember everyone always thought you had like the cutest toes.
It was so funny. When I was in 5th grade, this girl tried to insult me because I stole her best friend, and she was mad at me, and her insult was that my toes looked like grapes.
Those look like grapes. I don't know how your toes
I don't know. They were smaller then, you know.
I like the detail in it. So peaceful.
Yeah, it's how I want to go in my old age, just peaceful. By the beach. Turning into sand.
We'll do like a Viking burial for you in the ocean.
Yeah. I think another thing that I'd want to work on is stronger light. So I'd like if the light from the fire was brighter hitting, and then there was maybe more shadow where the fire isn't. So it's just like a really warm lighting, like on the face and the front of the body, and then more shadow on the other side.
The mystic. I used to draw owls so much when I was in like first grade. I used to draw barnyard owls because they were the easiest to draw with their like, little eyes.
I feel like the moon and the light above her could be more vibrant. That's my biggest critique. The crystals could be more vibrant.
Okay. I can see that. I could highlight it a little bit more.
Yeah, just like better lighting overall. I feel like it's maybe a little bit flat. Not too bad. There's still shadows and stuff, but just a little bit.
I can see that. But I do love the flowers a lot. You're great at painting flowers.
Thanks.
You have all the details with the petals and the flips and everything. Sometimes I find that difficult. When you do the little flip on the flower, it looks more realistic.
Yeah, that's my favorite part. Trying to get the flips in.
This one. This one got you into a show, right?
Yeah, so this was the first piece that I had in a gallery at all, so it is a little bit special in this way. I had an idea in mind for what I wanted, and I started with the 3 figures, but other than that, it was pretty free flow and abstract, and I just let it come.
Yeah. Now, I love your style, though. Like, I love all, like, the front people, but they also look like little toes at the same time. And then the little flowers.
The Indian ghost pipe.
Oh, Indian ghost pipes. Those flowers are mushrooms.
They are, I don't know how they would typically be described. I think they're technically flowers, but they're flowers that have a mycorrhizal relationship. So they're kind of like fungus.
Are they affected by fungus or something?
I believe so.
Okay.
I tried them. It was interesting.
Like you ate them?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're supposed to be good.
Did you eat them? Like, did you forage them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, forage them and eat them. They're supposed to be good for anxiety.
Do they last long?
No, they go quickly.
Okay. Did you feel like it helped with the anxiety?
It was interesting. I did. I felt like it put the anxiety at a distance. So it was like, and John shared this experience with me too, where it was like we both kind of felt like we were still having the anxious thoughts. They're still there, but they were a little bit more distant where we could see them and not have as much of a reaction.
Or anything like
I can't give advice. Okay. I'm not a doctor or an herbalist. I just try to plant out of curiosity, and I knew that it wouldn't kill me. So,
but I do love this. It does show your background and everything. Do you want to talk more about your background?
I could talk about it a little bit. So my family has a Melungeon history. And the Melungeons are a group of people in the Appalachias. And they were basically some of the first mixed people in the Americas. So they were a mix of the English colonists coming over, the Native Americans, and the African Americans. And so they became these mixed race people that most of them ended up marrying white and kind of moving into more of the white communities because they had more privilege that way. And so that was just like the natural choice. But I wanted to kind of capture the history of these people because it's not really something that most people know about or that most people talk about.
Yeah, I had
to honor that.
Never heard of it until you had introduced me.
Yeah, my aunt did a bunch of research into it, and so she shared that with me, and I wanted to honor that. And I also love the Appalachian Mountains. I was born in North Carolina, and I wanted to honor them too and all the medicine that's there. And so that's why you see the Indian ghost pipe and the St. John's wort and the cordyceps and the flowing river. Mama Earth kind of personified there with the Blue Ridge Mountains in the background.
Yeah. It's awesome. I'd love to go up there. How do you pronounce it?
Appalachian?
Appalachian. Okay.
That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's right or not.
I've heard Appalachian. No, if I heard Appalachian, I used to say Appalachian. I don't know if it's Appalachian. My bad.
Say it how you want.
I heard another place call it something weird, Appalachian.
Appalachia.
I've heard someone call it that. I was like, I don't never heard of that one. All right.
Okay, last one. Gentle Earth.
You did this like while sitting outside, right?
I did part of it while I was outside. So it was part plain air, and then I finished it inside because I had to go home and there were a lot of bugs.
Got it. No, that's cool though that you did start it outside though. Usually whenever I used to do paintings, because I haven't painted it in a while, I just do something like off of the picture. But I'm not really good at looking at something and then painting it. I haven't done it in a while. But great job. I bet it was relaxing at first to go outside and just paint. How long did it take you to set up?
To like actually set up, maybe 15 minutes to get all my equipment and everything up, but maybe longer because I've had to like mix paints. It takes a while. But then hiking out too is like half an hour hike out, like 15 minutes to half an hour to get where I was going. And then when I got to the spot, I saw a deer like flit by. And I was like, oh, this is pretty.
How do you know like which details you want to include in the photo? Are there things in this photo that weren't actually there, or was everything that you painted basically there?
I would say everything was basically there. Painting in person is a totally different ball game than painting in a photo. I feel like there's like a quickness to it where it's just like just trying to get down all the shapes and it doesn't come out exactly like what you're seeing. And I think that there's a fun in that, that you get to kind of fill in the blanks.
I like that. You are really showing progression, and I love how all of your paintings just relate back to nature.
Yeah, I feel like this one, I like that there's like a little bit more of that impressionistic style in this one. Because you can, if you like look at the leaves and stuff, you can kind of see more of the brush strokes there and in the grass. It was my beginning of wanting to experiment with impressionistic style, but not fully.
Summer's Impressionism era.
Yeah, I really like this piece. I love the light in it. I feel like I have a tendency to not want to go so strong with the lighting, or when I'm painting it, it almost looks wrong because it's such a contrast. It's like a really bright stroke and then a really dark one. Yeah. But when you step back from it and look at it, it looks right.
It does.
Yeah. I think if I were going to do this again, I would put more darker strokes in the shadows because I think you lose some of the brush strokes. They had a lot of brush strokes in the light, but then in the shadows they kind of disappear. And same with the trees. I think I could make the trees more impressionist with more brush strokes as well.
Like, wow, I really see the grass like flowing and moving. And that's the difference between them and other types of paintings. Like, yeah, with other paintings, you can go up to it and see every single beautiful detail. Both Impressionism, you have to take a step back and realize what's in front of you.
Yeah, it's also a quicker way to paint, which can be really fun. I feel like I get really focused on details, and to be able to be like, oh, it's just going to be loose, and we're just going to do broad brush strokes is fun.
Sounds relaxing.
So not as ruthless of a review as we thought. It's pretty gentle review, I would say.
Did you want me to be ruthless?
You can be ruthless.
I don't think there was anything to be ruthless about, though.
Yeah, I feel like most of my shitty artwork I end up painting over, just like hiding in the back of my closet. Like, no one has to see that. But yeah, there's plenty of that artwork.
One day we could be in like a museum and people would be like, I'll pay $500 for that little sketch she had on a napkin.
One day. So thank you, Rena, for coming to this art review and being a part of my video. Do you have any parting words for our audience?
Oh, well, thank you for having me today. I'll appreciate it.
That's a wrap.
Have a great day, guys. I'm not going to jump on you. We don't get to do this often. Makes me feel younger again. Can't believe we met like 10 years ago.
I know. Yep. A decade
I
of
don't get to keep
friendship.
friends that long.
Me neither. You're my longest friend. I think like
Nobody likes me.
you're my longest friend. Okay.